Hello everyone, Emmylou here. I am going to show you today how to do an iconic Marmite jar in the style of Andy Warhol. So Andy Warhol is a really cool artist. This is Andy Warhol. So Andy Warhol's not alive anymore. He was American and that's when he was born, 1928, and he died in 1987. So he was called Andy Warhol. And what I thought would be really cool is, I'm going to show you, this was a really famous picture that he did, Campbell's soup tin. Very simple, but he did about 100 of them all in a row. So he reproduced pictures. This is one of the Queen. So these are copies of his artwork. And then dollar signs, all different colours. So it's like he repeated different things, but he used different colours. This one's quite interesting. It reminds me of what we're doing today. So it's like we're doing the Marmite jar on a really cool, colourful background. Then Marilyn Monroe. So different heads with different backgrounds. I need to do a portrait for you as well at some point, so I'm going to be doing that. So this is a project I did ages ago, and I used gouache paint. But can you see, you've got the Marmite jar, you've got the ketchup, you've got another 2 Marmites, you've got the Twix, you've got Heinz baked beans and Campbell's soup. So it's really cool. You could maybe go into your cupboard and find out 3 things that you could draw and just draw them all together and paint them, because it's really fun. So all you need, pencil, paper. I want to get it a little bit more towards you so you can see. So what you're going to start off with is, I almost don't like the fact it's a bit down there. Okay, we're going to do an oval. So you're going to go nice big oval. Leave a little bit of room on top and obviously loads of room at the bottom. So you can do an oval. Then you're going to touch each bit of the oval, go down. Each bit of the oval, go down. And then think of it as a smile. You're going to join it up, but as though it's a smile. So don't go straight across. Then you're going to just go da-da-dee. They're a lot smaller, these lines, like there's so many of them, but we don't need to draw all of them really. Then you want to go line here, line there. Marmite's something you either do not like at all or you love, and I actually really love Marmite. You do a line here. Try and get it neat if you can. Mine's gone a bit wobbly because I'm drawing from the side. And then you want to go, and then, once you've done those 2 little bits, that's easy now, because all you have to do is just join it up. Ta-da. Right, everything that's man-made is quite easy to draw. I say easy, but it's not too tricky to draw, because you can have a look at everything that's on it. So we're going to just do line down, line down. So it's the same line as those, but you're going down here. This bit's the bit that's a bit tricky, so if you find it hard, just press lightly until you get it right. But think of it like a circle. So we're going to go round, then round. Don't worry if you can't get it completely symmetrical. Don't worry, it doesn't matter. You want to continue this down a little bit more, and then when you get to the bottom, unlike most of the things, it's going to be a straight line, because if you can see here, it's straight so it can sit down. Okay, so now, really easy, we're just going to go round. So inside there, you've got a really kind of like a wobbly, a strange looking, I was going to say an egg. Looks a bit like an egg actually. Now to make it look shiny, because it's glass, I'm just going to do a line there and a line there. And we want to go down there and a little bit there. Because it's glass, I want you to make it look like glass when we do it. Then, before we do the detail, I want you to just draw a line straight as you can. Mine's a little bit wobbly, all the way around it. So we're going to do a really awesome looking square that's really bright to make the actual Marmite jar stand out. So if you have a look at his picture, the cow, he's got a yellow background to it. So we're going to do a really cool, maybe yellow background. It depends, because this is yellow and black. So you come up with a different colour background. So now you want to do a bit like a bridge. Don't know why, it just reminds me of a bridge. Then you want to go down, down, and then you want to join it up like a bridge as well. Don't do it straight across, you want it more. Then in the middle of those, am I going too fast for you? If I go too fast for you, just pause the video. I get a bit carried away. It's because I love Marmite. So you do down, down. Then this goes cha-chung, and then cha-chung. So 2 little lines there. And then up, up. This is like the cool bit, because you can do this for anything. If you do homework, you can do a scroll that looks like that. So then you join, you touch this bit there and you go like that. And you touch that bit there and you go, then just da-da-da, da-da-da. And then there you have your scroll. Now you've got to write Marmite on it. But for a bit of fun, you could write your name, couldn't you? It doesn't have to be Marmite. But what I thought might be nice is you could plan it out first, because it's going to be bubble writing. So I've planned it out. So say for example, I'm going to plan it out. So I want it all the way across. So I've written it in pencil and I've done it in capitals, really big, so it goes from one bit to the next. Now, with my pencil that you've got, but you're going to press harder, you can go round it. So now my M becomes a capital M, but, because it's already a capital, but then we're going to make it chunky. So A, that I've already drawn, becomes a chunky one. It's like I'm creating bubble writing using my outline. It's not the best writing I've ever done, I'm not going to lie, but it's okay for what I'm trying to show you. Once you've done that, you can go underneath. Oh, so you're going to touch middle of somewhere on there and go like a U shape. Then you're going to go da-da-da. So think of it like a worm or a snake joined up. Normally on the Marmite, I think there's a tub and there's a spoon, but I'm so happy there isn't, because otherwise I'd have to draw more. But there's a really cool swirly pattern. So I'm just going to go just like that. When you get to the sides, just do more line. You can make this chunky if you want to, just by going round like that, but I don't know if you need to. If you feel you want to, you can, but you don't necessarily need to. It might look quite cool if you do, but don't worry if you can't, or you think, ooh. Here it says, you don't hate it, you love it. And they always say, hang on, I've got to write this, otherwise I'm going to spell it wrong. You don't hate it. Hate's a very strong word, isn't it? I'd rather it says, I don't like it. You don't hate it, you love it. So a lot of people either really like Marmite or they really don't like Marmite at all. I actually love Marmite. I have Marmite with salty butter and a crispy bit of bread. Oh. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint it. So you can get your paints. I've got chalks here that I could use, but I don't know why. I've got the paints out and I think, ooh, I just feel to paint. So you could use chalk, you could use oil pastel, you could use coloured pencils, completely fine. So I'm going to get my brush. Doesn't actually matter how you hold your brush and what brush you're using and what kind of paint. Just try for this one. Just don't worry too much about what you've got and just focus on what you want to paint. So I've got a yellow. My yellow's a bit icky. Oh man. So I'm just going to get some more yellow because my yellow's now gone a green, which isn't really... Oh no. When you open the paint and put it in, maybe ask someone because I've just overdone it and I do not need that much yellow. So what's yellow on my one? So it's the lid. So I'm going to paint all of that, which has now gone semi-green. Yellow's a really cool colour to use when you're painting an Andy Warhol picture, because he used so many bright colours. So think about bright, really bright colours, because he used a lot of reds, a lot of yellows. That's what we want to do for it to look striking. I'm just going to hold this up here so you can see. So all the label is yellow. I can't believe how much yellow paint I may waste, so I'm going to have to use it for something else. I'm doing an hour of painting later on. Just lots of painting. And what's really nice about this is if you've got something in front of you, like the Marmite, or you've got, if you've got the ketchup in front of you, whatever you've got in front of you, you can literally keep looking at it and using it to look at, to paint. So it's really good because you can think, oh, okay, it's that colour, it's that colour, it's helpful. Right, I'm going to get a green and I'm going to do, whoa, I'm going to do this bit green. As I say, if you're not using paint, just still colour it the same colours if you want to. Don't have to though. Then, now, oh man, it's very messy, my palette. Oh, I need a red, so get ready with a red. I would go around the letters, but if you're having trouble doing that and you find it hard, you could colour the whole thing red, which is what I'm going to do now. If you can't see what you've drawn though, after you've gone over it, maybe go round the letters. But I just feel like I don't really need to, because when this dries, we can paint over the top because I can still see them. So that's lucky for me. Try and keep it. Has to be quite neat, this one, because it's an object. But I'm getting a little bit messy, but it's okay. Right, now we want, what colour do you think we want next? I want a black. So we're gonna, I absolutely love painting with black. It just has a great effect. Okay, so this bit black first. You could colour the whole thing in, but I quite like doing it in sections because then it leaves a little bit of room to show that you've got different types of levels on the jar. So if I have a little line there, I know that this jar has two bits to it. It's not just all one, if that makes sense. I quite like that look. Then, oh, it's so satisfying using black paint. My mum used to make me this delicious drink that was black treacle. It's like sugar molasses, and you mix it with hot milk before bed. Oh, it was so good. Maybe I should buy that now before I go to bed. That would be kind of cool. Oh, I'm trying to be neat. I'm trying to be neat. The Heinz baked bean tin is a pretty cool one to do this with as well. I'm going to go round these light bits to make it look shiny like glass, but you don't have to go around them. You could paint over them, and then when the black's dry, just get a white and just add them in. Or, it doesn't have to be a white paint actually, you could get a white chalk. That looks awesome, and add it in. But I don't know if this will dry in time to show you that. Oh. Right, there's my Marmite jar. Those shiny bits mean that it's a shiny jar, but really it's a glass. Now, I'm going to do the swirl in black. As you can tell, I'm not necessarily doing it that neat. I don't think it matters now. I don't think it, as long as it looks kind of cool. Okay, so that's black. Now, this is kind of nearly dry. I'd have to get a small brush for this, so I've got like a small brush with a tip. So if you don't have that, you could wait for it to dry, and you could probably do it with white coloured pencil maybe. I think that would probably work. I've got one somewhere, I don't know where. I keep losing everything. Right, what I'm going to do, just because it's easier for me, I'm going to get white paint, got to almost not breathe for this because it's so tricky. So I'm drawing over the words. That really hurt. I just trod on a piece of pastel on the floor, chalk pastel. That really did hurt. Ow. Okay, I think the A needs a gap in it, so try not to get too worried. I know that all of you can get frustrated when you go over the letters and it goes wrong. Well, it doesn't go wrong, but it looks a bit messy, and that's okay because you can let it dry and go around it again. Because if I go over the white, the yellow, if I go over the red really badly, then I can just wait for it to dry and fill it in again. So my E's not quite white, so that would really annoy me if I was in an art class. So that's okay, because you get some more white, go over it, or let it dry and just do it at the end. Try not to let it bother you too much, because it's easy when something's not going your way to think, ugh. Now, can you see there's more black? There's some black here. So I'm just going to add it in, and it's because it's under, it's under the little scroll thing, so it's like the shadow. That looks awesome. I really like that. So there's my Marmite jar. Now I want a really cool colour for the background. What do you think I should do? I'm tempted to do red, but I kind of like blue. So hard, isn't it, to know? I think I'm going to go with red. Red's just such a nice bright colour, isn't it? I'm going to do a red. I could do bread as well, couldn't I? I'm going to do a red. Let's do some red. Ideally, you want to make sure your black is dry before you do your background, because otherwise it will go onto, you'll smudge it and it will go onto the background, and then your background will be like a reddy black, which if you like that, awesome, but it might not be something you want. I like putting water in some of my paint because it makes it easier. Like I've got this flat brush at the moment, it's really flat, and I can just do this. Like I can go over the lines like that, and it's really nice. But it doesn't actually matter what tools you have to some extent. Like, I feel like some of my drawings I've done that were amazing were literally just using a pencil, like an old pencil. I think it was like an old pencil that my dad used, that we found in the kitchen drawer. So it doesn't matter for these pictures what you use really, as long as you practice drawing and you like what it looks like. Ah, honestly, this is so satisfying, because I think when you paint and you love art, it's really nice to just take your time and just put bright colours in there. That red is amazing. Love that red. And if I wanted to, if the paper was smaller, I could then do this background. So I could do this background blue, or I could do it orange. I love the idea of orange. Something I would add, if I wanted to, even though he did block colours, like if you think about, I suppose he still put shadow in them. So what I would do if I wanted to is to make it look super finished. I'd like to put red there just so you can see it's an A. What I'd like to do is the lid, because the lid looks slightly sad, doesn't it? So I feel like I'd put a bit of grey. This is where I could potentially go a little bit wrong with it. So a little bit of grey on the top, and I'll get a brush that I've dried, and I would just smudge it a bit, because I want the lid to look, oh man, hang on, I just smudged it too much. I want the lid to look super 3D. Can you see how it changes it? It kind of looks more cool. Yours will be pencil lines, so you can go over those pencil lines in perhaps, I'd go over them with, maybe go over them with an orange. Like this is kind of an orangey yellow. So go over those if you like, or just draw around them. But I'm really happy with my jar. If I wanted to, so if you have a look there, if I wanted to, I could make more light bits of the jar, because I think if you look at the jar, oh, you can't really see it. If you look at it there, there's kind of like a light bit there with some white and a bit of white there. So you could feel free to add the white bits, because that's what makes it look kind of really awesome. So subscribe and share. Let me know how you get on with this Andy Warhol picture. And like I say, with the other project that I did with some children in schools, you've got your Marmite, you've got your ketchup, you've got your Twix. If you've had an Easter egg that you still got, you could copy that. Love the idea of the baked beans because they're really tricky to paint. Can you see the beans? So yeah, have a bit of fun, and I shall see you tomorrow. Going to be painting a llama. So I'll see you tomorrow. Mwah.